Hello, how are you? As you well aware that I am Dr. Jetling Ellosa, running a YouTube channel called Law Speeches. In this channel, I am posting my lectures and various facets and gamuts of law, and sometimes I'm also posting my lectures on the world affairs. So, I would like to request all of you to subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. So today we embarking upon discussing another important topic which is burning around the globe because modern way of living, thinking had drastically impacted upon the societies as well as upon the families. The earlier system of giant family to now nuclear families. Then we have recent past seeing the marriages between not only the different sexes but also between the same sexes. So that is called same sex marriages. Otherwise, we can call it as a gay marriage or the lesbian marriages. You know, male can marry a female and female can marry a male. That is a natural and nature permission. But I told you that there is a lot of changes have been coming into the societies all across the globe. Then we have seen the demand for same-sex marriages, though which are biologically opposing, and we could not see the procreation. In spite of that, some people are preferring the same sex marriages. If you see from the ancient times, we could found some instances of the same sex marriages in many civilizations. But in modern times, if we refer, the same sex marriages have been started occurring from 2001 onwards. So before to that also there is a one instance was there in 1971. The two male persons they have married are they living together in America. So first time in 2001 the the same sex marriages have got recognition from the world countries. The first country to legalize the same sex marriage is the Netherlands, that we call as a Dutch land. You know, same sex marriages are, as on today, there are 36 countries allowing the same sex marriages around the world, or they have legalized the same sex marriages. Even our neighbor, the Nepal, also legalized the same-sex marriages, and recently the one of the ancient countries in the world, that is Greece, Greek parliament has passed an act for legalizing the same-sex marriages. And by next year, 2025, the Liechtenstein, a European tiny country, also passed a law for implementing the same-sex marriages. So same-sex marriages are mostly happening in the developed countries, not in developing countries or even in other countries. So the 36 countries which I have just now mentioned, majority of these countries are developed countries. And there is a pressures are going on in political arena by groups in name of life and personal liberties, in name of human rights. They're demanding that the individuals have the right under the their constitutions as well as under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights document of 1948. They have the right of going for same-sex marriages. But if you observe the Muslim or Islamic countries around the world, no Islamic country is allowing or permitting the same-sex marriages across their territories. Then we discuss the what are the conditions in India, and also we discuss the stand of Supreme Court as well as some high courts with regard to same-sex marriages. So, with regard to India, in India it is a multi-religious country. Almost all major religions have been found place in our country. The it is a home for Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism, and Jainism. So regulate these religions marriages. We have the different enactments are there. For Hindus, we have the Hindu Marriage Act of 1955. For Sikhs, we have the Anand Marriage Act of 1909. For Muslims, we have the Muslim Marriage Act of 1954. For Christians, we have the Christian Marriage Act is there. And in between the religious marriages, we have the Special Marriage Act of 1954. So basically, the Special Marriage Act lays stresses upon the marriages in between the religions, means male belongs to one religion and female belongs to one religion. Then suppose Hindu or Muslim or Christian or Muslim, they are marrying, then they are governed by the principles of the Special Marriage Act of 1954. But in India, as and today also, the same-sex marriages have been not permitted. Though many high courts have a Supreme Court in some cases have permitted the live-in relation. They can live together and they can have certain rights. But the same-sex marriages are not permitted in our country. So the question is coming from the many social thinkers, intellectuals, why we should not? India is a democratic country and we have adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights document of 1948, Geneva Convention, and the Constitution of India under Article 14 to 18 removes all sorts of inequalities. Then Article 19 or Article 21 provides right of life and personal liberty. The marriage comes under the Article 21 of the Constitution of India. And the Universal Declaration of Human Rights documents also we have signed. Why we should not recognize the same-sex marriages? But still, it is not been materialized in our country is concerned. And some public spirited persons, they filed cases in the different high courts as well as the Supreme Court of India. Then, in case I cite here, I quote here, that is a Sofin Jahan versus Ashokan, KM and others, is reported in 2018, where the Supreme Court of India clearly stated that marriage is choice of the individual. It comes under the fundamental rights. So they can marry anybody else. That was a gist of the judgment is concerned. And in one more case, Navjit Singh Johar and another versus Union of India in 2018. Again, the question in this case that LGBT rights have been in detail discussed by the Supreme Court. And LGBT people have the right of living and cohabitation, but we have section 377 of IP's Indian Penal Code, which punishing unnatural contracts. Then it has stated in this case that decriminalization of the section 377 of the IPC was permitted by the Supreme Court in this decision. That means if they have practicing same sort of sexes, they cannot be prosecuted under section 377 of IPC. But it is not removed the section. It became a ineffective laid down by the Supreme Court of India. And recently, 2022, the Supreme Court had occasion to discuss that if they have the same sex marriages are there, though they are not legally have the rights, but they are covered by social security regime. And they be on par with the live-in relations, whatever rights which are available to the persons of the live-in relation, that should be extended to the persons of the same-sex marriages. Again, in October 2023, the Supreme Court has delivered another remarkable judgment that the courts cannot decide the validity of the legality of the same-sex marriages. It is the parliament to decide. So parliament has a perfect power to decide, and it has been stated that we cannot give any sort of relief for the people involved in the same-sex marriages. So in our country, different political parties have different opinions. Some political parties like Aam Aadmi Party or some liberal parties, they have advocating for the legalization of the same-sex marriages, like the rightist party, like the BJP. It is opposing the idea of legalizing the same-sex marriages. So it is still a big debate is going on in our country with regard to legalization of the same-sex marriages. But in 2023, one member of parliament has made a private bill for legalizing the same-sex marriages, but it is not materialized till today, and the debate is going on till today. So, not only in our country, but entire world, the debate is going on. What to do with regard to same-sex marriages, because it is against to the biological principles, and it is against how they can procreate the children. And the question is there that they should be given right of adoption. For that also, the Child Commissioner of India again it a deferred the opinion, and so as on today also there is a no proper legal frame is there in our country with regard to same-sex marriages, but it is considered as a kind of offending the nature. So debate is going on in years to come. Then we have to wait for the ultimate results. Thank you for listening my lecture. And I would request all of you to subscribe to my channel, watch my channel. If they are informative or knowledgeable, share in among your communities, because spreading of legal knowledge is an important aspect so that the societies can be awakened. Thank you, one and all.